Hey friends, today we're going to talk about your sports portfolio, and I'm going to talk about three main things here: your target audience, what images you should include, and also how do you display these images and get them to your client. Talk about all that. I come back. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome, and don't forget, subscribe and click that notification bell. And if you've been here a while, thank you for coming back. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Up first, your target client. Who are you going after? Are you going after a high school? Do you want to shoot for a specific high school? Maybe a college? Maybe you want to shoot for a magazine or a newspaper. These are your clients. Or maybe you have a specific event in mind, say a stock car race, and you want to be the event photographer. Once you get that figured out, then do a little bit of research. Say you want to shoot for the stock car racing event. Do some research. What are they lacking? Do they not have photos at all? Maybe the photographer they have now is just somebody they hired out of the stands, or it's a good friend and they're just not doing great images and it's hit and miss, and that's where you come in. So do some research, possibly a newspaper or maybe a magazine. Maybe they have specific things that they're lacking that your skills can come in handy. Once you do this, then you have to decide, what images am I going to put in my portfolio? How many do I put in there? Well, in this case, it's definitely quality over quantity. If you only have 5 images, give them your best 5 images. My suggestion is don't do any more than 10. If the individual looking at these images can't tell you're good within 10 photos, then they probably don't know what they're doing, and you probably should have their job. And make sure they're high quality, little noise, the best of the best that you have to offer. You have 4 images that are really crucial. The first couple really grasps their attention and gets them into you and hooked on what you can do. And the last 2 images, it's going to leave that lasting impression. So make sure you've got those equaled out to where, God, look at those images and like, yeah, these are good too. Oh, look at these last couple. That's what you want. And also, don't throw images that are not related to what you're shooting in there. So say you're shooting high school soccer, that's what you want to do. Don't throw some landscape photos in there. That's not going to work. Just do the images that they're going to be interested in, and make sure there's lots of action. There's lots of emotion. Make sure you get the faces, you get the ball, you get the whole atmosphere just wrapped up in one little photo to where they look at it, they go, wow. If you're shooting for a magazine, possibly a website, or maybe a full spread in a newspaper that's telling a complete story, yeah, then maybe you want to throw a couple more photos in there that aren't quite all action. Maybe some shots of just the players themselves, but make sure they're good images. Don't just throw some random photo in there of somebody sitting in the stands. That's not going to cut it. And then one of your last considerations is, where do you host these images? Or do you print them out and put them in some type of portfolio and actually take that with you? My suggestion, host them somewhere. Create your own website if you need to. It's pretty cheap to do these days. But if you do that, make sure you only have sports photos on this website. Don't put wedding photos or family photos. Make sure you keep it all sports related. If a website's out of the question, don't fret, you've got some other choices. You could use something like Flickr or maybe 500 Pics. You can host your images there and just send a link to your potential client. Now, what if you don't have any images yet? Like, Craig, I'm brand new. I don't really have any images that are that great. What do I do? You're still okay here. Do you have a neighbor kid who's into sports? Take them down to the local gymnasium or a field or something and get some great images of that. That will work also. Or if you know a coach who's got some practices going on, maybe you can't get into any games yet, but possibly some practices, you can also make some great images there. So don't count yourself out. Once you have all this figured out, you have to make contact. You have to send an email, or you have to make some phone calls, or go visit in person. Say if you go talk to a sports editor at a newspaper, make sure you go in there with the thoughts of, how am I going to help them make money? How am I going to get more subscribers for them? It's not about you. It's not about, oh, I want this job for me. You got to convince them you're doing this for them. If you can get them more subscribers, sell more magazines or newspapers, whichever it is, they're going to like you. And if you can show that, say you go to a newspaper and realize they're lacking in soccer photos, girl soccer photos, let's really get precise here. That happens a lot. Tell them you're available. You can take great images. You got your portfolio. Take a look at these and give you a call back. Same thing in email. Make sure when you email them, whoever it is, find out the exact person you need to be speaking to. And again, tell them, say it's a stock car racer who has an event. Tell them you take great stock car photos. And what that will do for you, Mr. Client, it's going to bring butts in the seats. It's going to get people to see these action photos and thinking, that looks great. I want to be part of that in person. You'll get more ticket sales, and because that's what you want. Once you get things all worked out, take a little break. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out my sports photography breakup video. It made me laugh. It made me cry. Or if you want to know how I got into sports photography, check out this video right here as well. and then get out and cheat.